break free at the 20. Martinez all the way home for a touchdown. Week 5 of Friday Night Lights is back. It's the Lee Summit Tigers versus the Park Hill Trojans at brand new, newly renovated Bud Hertzog Stadium. Welcome inside the broadcast booth. I'm Blake Heisey. Alongside me, Austin Boyer. We also have our producer, Elena Twinner. We have a great matchup for you tonight. We can't be more excited to be back after the Tigers were away for 2 weeks. This coverage is brought to you by the entire team here at TVH Sports. Tonight, it's the tale of two very athletic quarterbacks. Austin, give me some insight on that.
Right, so Park Hill's quarterback Blake Bell in their blowout win against Blue Springs last week, 50-0, almost 200 yards passing and 4 touchdowns. So it's definitely going to be a great matchup for this Tiger defense tonight.
Yeah, the Tigers are coming off of a good offensive game, but not the best defensive game. So let's see what changes they made tonight. We're also going to go to a new member on our team. Well, she's not new, but a new asset to the live stream this year. We are live on the sideline right now with our sideline reporter, Lauren Holdmeyer. Lauren, take it away. Okay.
A challenge for the Tigers as the Trojans are currently ranked 26th in the state. My player to watch tonight is senior Jeffrey Johnson. Last week, Johnson demolished Blue Valley defense after scoring a touchdown off a 99-yard run off of a kickoff return. The Tigers still have a chance of claiming the title in the Suburban Red League as they hold on to their 1-0 record in the conference. Reporting for Tiger Broadcast, this is Lauren Holdmeyer. Back to you, Blake. Okay, you guys are good. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I tried my best.
Thank you.
The rumor tonight, obviously, the Tigers having dropped their last 3 games. It's going to be a tough one for them, I guess you could say, from the defensive side, considering the Park Hill offense has a really high resume. Austin, what do you think about that?
Right, so I'm actually going to jump off here. Elijah Martinez, he's got to have a big game tonight in order to beat these Park Hill Trojans. He has so many different assets with wide receivers and Max Weisner as his tight end. I just feel like if he can get going tonight, then they can have a really successful night here at Bud Hertzog Stadium.
Yeah, the Tigers' tight end play is some of the best in the state. They have Mizzou commit Max Weisner, like you just mentioned. They also have Landon Shepard. However, unfortunately, Landon Shepard is currently in concussion protocol. He is inactive tonight. So that's worth noting from the Tiger side of things. Those two, the Tigers kind of struggled to implement them in their offense the first few weeks, but last week we did see Max Weisner got into the end zone for some scores, and Tigers offense kind of really, they're finding their identity now. They love to run the ball with their quarterback Martinez, but they also have a junior running back, Devin Andrews, really solid this season for them, doing it, all on the ground, and they obviously have their bull mammoth of a running back in Jalen Johnson as well.
Right, and you got to figure this is a very big upset for Lee Summit. You got to think they're going in this game with some passion and with some aggression because they're ranked 81st in Missouri, and the Trojans are ranked 26th in Missouri. So they got to put they got to get some scores soon, force some turnovers in order to win this game.
And the Trojans, they are also pretty good on defense as well. They did shut out Blue Springs last week, like we mentioned. They only allow 18.8 points per game. They score around 31.5. The Tigers score around 24.8 per game and allow so far 41. They allowed 69 points last week against a very talented Blue Valley Tigers squad. But it's a new week. And the Tigers are ready to go. We're almost set for kickoff. Rowan McCarthy will kick it off for the Tigers. And here we are again. It's a beautiful Friday night. It's not too hot, not too cold.
Absolutely perfect. The loud crowd's been here since 5:30, tailgating in the parking lot. They're hype. The team's hype. Let's see what these boys can do tonight.
Tigers in their black and gold, kicking from left to right. They'll get the ball to start the second half, but to start the game, it's the Trojans. And it's going to be a touchback. First and 10 for the Trojans from the 20-yard line. Sammy Hall is the one who was going to return if it was not a touchback. But here comes, like we've been talking about, a very electric Trojan offense.
Right, with this Tiger defense, obviously you said 41 points against, or points given up on average in their first 4 games. Their key is getting to the quarterback, getting into the backfield, making that pressure, forcing the Trojans to make some bad passes. That's what they did against Oak Park the first game of the season, and that's what propelled them towards that win in week 1.
And you may have heard the PA announcer come on to the PA system and announce that there's some scoreboard mishaps with time and all that. So the officials will be keeping score completely on their watches. That pass is complete to the right side.
Number 12, Roger T.
Bell to T.
Tackle is made.
And it's going to bring up second down and about 5.
You're going to see a lot of T this game. They do a lot of those short little screen passes out to the outside, and he's such a big target that he can almost get 5+ yards every single time.
Very, very electric offense. And it starts with Bell at the helm. He takes the snap, dumps it off to a receiver for just a few yards. That was number 12, P.J. Caldwell.
Tackle made by number 30.
You're not going to see the Trojans go with too many long balls here tonight, but you are going to see them with those short little dump passes like we've already seen twice this game, and it's going to be some adjusting for this Tiger defense to do.
And it will bring up a first down. Trojan offense typically sees a little more passing than running. Here's a rush here. The Tigers do pretty well to defend it. It's only going to be a gain of 2. James Noel on the carry.
Tackle was made on the play by number 31, Jimmy McGovern.
Jimmy McGovern is the Tiger who brought him down. And we'll mention once again, bear with us, the scoreboard having some issues with the time, so we're trying to keep our own sense of time up here. There's somewhere around 10.5 minutes left in the game. We did just get underway. It's going to bring up second and 8. Bell dumps it off to his left. It's going to be to Marquise Bell.
Kendrick Bell's pass is caught by number 14.
Wonder if there's a family relation there.
Yeah. Well, you're going to see a lot from this Tiger defense. They've already started to adjust, started to do some press coverage on their wide receivers to disallow that little dumpster pass. But you got to make sure, if you're the Tiger defense, that you can't let up any long balls or any big plays.
And that's going to bring up 3rd and 4, an early chance for this Tiger defense to get off the field early, something they've kind of struggled to do so far throughout the year. And Bell looks like a little bit juggling with the snap. He's going to heave one out, and it's going to be to an open receiver. He finds Bell once again. That is caught for more than a first down. They're going to enter Tiger territory.
Yeah, that was a little miscommunication there by the Tiger secondary. You can see the wide receiver that went on a short little route there. He pulled the other cornerback in, which allowed the space behind the defense to open up more for that nice sideline catch.
Just a little bit of a mishap. The Tigers missed that early opportunity to get off the field. This pass is once again thrown over the middle to Caldwell. He was brought down by a few Tigers, and that's going to get them close to the first down marker.
It's already worked 3 or 4 times for them this game already, and it's the first drive. So you got to think, how are the Tigers going to stop that? And they get some 5+ yards every time, so why stop if you're the Trojans?
Yeah, like you said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And so far, we've seen a very pass-heavy offense. And obviously, whenever the Tigers do get pressure on Bell, look for him to run. This is going to be a handoff, and the Tigers are all over it. It's a great tackle in the backfield. James Noel was brought down before he got back to the line of scrimmage. Hanoud brought him down.
Yeah, and that's what happens whenever the Tigers get into that backfield like we saw against Oak Park in week 1. They make that pressure, they make the O-line all in shambles, and then they find that seam to get to the running back or the quarterback.
Here we are once again, 3rd down. Trojans last week had a whopping 22 first downs. They were 5 for 10 on first downs, or on 3rd downs, I should say. And this is a run play blown up once again in the backfield. The first Tiger to get there was number 51, Sohaib Hamoud. That's going to bring up 4th and 6, and the Tigers' defense stepping up when they need them to.
You've already seen Hamoud twice in that little drive there, and he's been playing well this whole season, and I want to see him have a great game tonight, which is looking like could be the trend here.
This is seeming like it could possibly be 4-down territory for the Trojans. Their offense still on the field with 9 seconds on the play clock. In terms of the game clock, we don't know the official time. We think it's around 8 minutes left in the quarter. Snap to bell, they do indeed go for it. It's a pass caught on the outside, and it's going to be trouble for the Tigers. This ball is going to be ran all the way into the end zone for a Trojan touchdown. It's P.J. Caldwell. And just like that, the Trojans flipped the script at Bud Hertzog Stadium.
Yep, you see the little dumpster passes. That was actually a screen pass, but two great blocks by the wide receivers there, and no help over there by the Tiger safeties, and they end up scoring pretty easily on that play.
And a lot of frustration there from the Tigers defense as they walk off the field. Hamoud had 2 great plays in a row. This extra point is up and good, which is not a surprise. Scotty Robertson, the kicker for Park Hill, 3 for 3 on field goals, and before that he was 15 for 16 on extra points throughout the year. And after the first drive, the Trojans lead the Tigers 7-0.
For the Tigers offense, at least, I'm really looking to see Max Weiser getting involved like he was last week. They're finally starting to figure out his routes and finally figuring out where he wants the ball. And, of course, there's no one really taller than Weiser on the defense there. Throw it up high, he'll usually get it every time.
And this is one of those early moments when, if you're the Tigers, you have to think, how do you respond? They did what they needed to do on defense. If this was a professional level or something like that, obviously a team probably wouldn't have gone for it on 4th and 6 from that level, from that yardage, I should say. But here comes a Tiger special teams unit, including Jeffrey Johnson, who last week had a 99-yard kick return for a touchdown. So let's just say this special teams unit for the Tigers has some electricity. Never count them out if the kick does not go into the end zone. But the Tigers need a response, and let's see if they can give one.
And a quick side note here, that Jeffrey Johnson touchdown return was actually muffed as well. So he did muff it, and then he ended up getting the 99-yard touchdown.
It reminds me of week 1 when the Tigers were on the wrong end of a muffed kick that was ran back for a touchdown. This is a squib kick of sorts, and I believe the Tigers handled it pretty well. They're going to have the ball around their own 25-yard line. Not a bad idea from the Trojans trying to catch the Tigers off guard. But the official spotting's on the 26th. That's where Tino Martinez will bring out this Tigers offense.
Right, we saw that last week in the Blue Valley game. The Tigers scored first, and the Blue Valley scored. And then whenever Blue Valley kicked off, they did a surprise onside kick and recovered it, which made the game ultimately 14-6 in the first quarter, and then it kind of got out of reach from there for the Tigers.
And that's just especially why the Tigers need to get a good response here. But here comes Elijah Martinez's offense, QB for the Tigers. His line is pretty good on the year. We will give some more information on that. Here's Devin Andrews immediately out of the gate, and he is going to get a first down on rush number 1. Devin Andrews coming off a 17-rush, 151-yard game. That's what he's going to do for you.
Yeah, and the O-line did an excellent job there getting that huge gap for Evan to run through, and it just blew up for the Trojan defense.
Here's Martinez keeping it. This is not a surprise to those who have watched Tiger football before this season. He's going to gain about 6 or 7. And we mentioned Martinez's line. Coming into this game, he was 53 for 78 on the year, 672 pass yards, 8 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. And tonight, This Tigers offense, after 2 plays, looking good on the ground, but no one in the backfield this time. It's just Martinez. He's going to take the snap and roll out to his right. He's looking for somewhere to throw, but couldn't find anyone. He's ran out of bounds by Cal Netherton.
And that's just how dynamic this offense can be. If a receiver gets open, Martinez can buy enough time with his speed rolling out to find a good open receiver there. And that's why those QB rollouts are always so good for the Tigers. And they have so many targets downfield that they can choose from.
Devin Andrews getting the first down for the Tigers.
Strong carries number 32, Devin Andrews.
Tigers looking really good on the ground so far, and I'm no fortune teller, but I'd bet on a 1st and 10, that's what the Tigers go to.
Right, I completely agree with you there. I mean, he's already had 2 rushes that have been really good, so I would not be surprised if they go back to one here.
And it's actually a pass play where Martinez is going to roll out to his left. Pretty good protection from his O-line. That pass is going to be caught. It's going to be a first down.
Elijah Martinez pass is caught by number
And it is
1,
JT Belt.
Tackle on the play.
He did not see him a lot last week, but he did score a touchdown at least, and he's been making a little bit more of a impression in the game than he has in the few earlier games in the season, which I'm really liking to see from him.
Yeah, the Tigers' most prominent receiver in their offense is Josh Manning. Last week he had 7 receptions for 80 yards. In the Lee Summit West game 2 weeks ago, he had about 150 yards. Here's Andrews once again. He's going to pick up 7 or 8 and bring up 2nd and short.
Well, you see there they put Weisner, the big boy, in the backfield, and that just allowed for one more blocker up the middle so Elijah could follow him right through. Or excuse me, Devin Andrews to follow right behind him and get a few more yards.
And flags fly before the play begins. And it's going to be on the Tigers. They'll move back. So a 2nd and short is going to become 2nd and medium. False start is the penalty. That's going to bring it back to 2nd down and 7.
Don't be surprised if you see a shot to Josh Manning over the top of the defense here soon. They got 2 wide receivers lined up on that far side, which means that there could either be a screen or a jet sweep, which is the case here.
You predicted it, Austin, and this play, I mean, he just kept bouncing off of him. That was number 18, Jeffrey Johnson.
With the carry.
Good carry by Johnson. He's going to get up right near the first down marker. Can't see if the chains are moving yet. It doesn't appear so. It's going to be 3rd and probably about an inch.
Well, Jeffrey Johnson is a guy that just bounces off every tackle. You saw it last week in his kick return for a touchdown. He just refused to go down and ended up getting rewarded with a touchdown.
And he's a really physical guy. In baseball last year, he broke the record for most hit by pitches in a season. This time, he's coughed up in the backfield. Great job to swallow up that run from the Trojans defense. The one who brought him down was once again Cal Netherton. That linebacker in there so far doing wonders for the Trojan defense. He seemed to be the only one that can contain Martinez, Johnson, Andrews, whoever seems to have that ball in possession for the Tigers.
Right, and you might want to see a look towards, there could be a pass here for Weisner coming off in the tight end position. Just need about 4 yards for the first down. This is his prime territory.
It is 4th and 4. It's going to be a pass. Martinez rolls to his left. He's going to run for the first down, and he's going to get it. Martinez is going to break for the edge, and he's going to get all the way to the end zone. Oh, he's going to be brought down at the 1 is going to be the official ruling. I was ready to give the touchdown signal, but he is brought down at the 1 yard line. I saw the official start to put his hands above his head. I got a little too excited. The Tigers are rolling on the ground, and it's going to be 1st and goal from the 1.
Well, yeah, you saw there Weisner was open, which caused the QB spy to pull out towards Weisner, and that left a huge gap for Martinez to get all the way down to the 1 yard line.
We told you it's the tale of athletic QBs tonight. That's how it's paved so far. Martinez once again rolling to his right. He's going to get a rushing touchdown on his line. The Tigers with an instant response.
Yep, there it is. That is exactly what they needed. You don't see the Tigers scoring early as much as they want to, and that was a really good comeback and a retaliation to the Trojans score on the first drive.
We talked about how the Tigers needed a response. They got one, and now with pending a PAT, they will have tied this game. And it appeared that they were able to run through that Trojan defense with ease. But McCarthy sinks the extra point. And the Tigers right back in this game. We mentioned they've had 3 straight losses to Lee Summit North, Lee Summit West, and Blue Valley. So 2 out of the 3 of those being rivals. Austin, you mentioned how they were going to play with pride tonight, and so far, so good.
Right, I completely agree. I mean, their defense really has started to figure out this Trojan offense in the first drive, which is good. I mean, you saw them get that 4th down, but they unfortunately converted on it. And they've been playing well over these last few games, and I just need to see if they can string some good drives together.
Somewhere south of 4 minutes remaining in the quarter. We'll reiterate once again, clock malfunctions on the scoreboard, so it says 000, so we're having to try to keep our own time up here in the booth. It's a little bit harder than it may look or it may seem. But McCarthy getting ready to kick the Tigers off. 7-7 so far in this one. Tigers basically did get a defensive stop. They just had a mishap on 4th down, which unfortunately resulted in 7 points. McCarthy's kick is going to go for a touchback. And out back comes Kendrick Bell and this very pass-heavy Trojan offense.
Right, once you see the Tigers start to figure out those short passes, you're going to see Bell start to take matters into his own hands and start rushing the ball, which is going to be really key for this defense to pick up on earlier rather than later.
Yeah, I've personally been really impressed with the Tigers' linebacker play so far. I was talking to Max Weisner throughout this whole week. He said they were just trying to figure out what defensive adjustments they could make to be more successful. And so far tonight, they've looked pretty good. It does say 7 on the board, but that's obviously 1 mishap. This is going to be a handoff to the right side. Tigers are going to cough it up pretty quickly. Weisner and many other players bringing him down. It was James Noel on the carry.
And back to what you were saying about the adjustments the Tiger defense was making. They moved Max to outside linebacker to see if he could pick up on some more of those runs to get around the edge quicker.
Now, Weisner obviously proving the coaches did a pretty good adjustment there. If you want a little bit of history between these teams, since 2012, Park Hill leads the series 5-3. They've won 3 in a row and 5 out of the last 6 in the series. The last Lee Summit win came in 2016, a 20-13 win at Park Hill. Bell's going to throw it over the middle. The pass is caught, and he will be brought down around the 43-yard line. It's P.J. Caldwell once again, seemingly, possibly his favorite receiver tonight.
Oh, yeah, I agree. And PJ is just so good at finding the little seams in that zone defense. What you saw there were 4 Tiger defenders around the area, but he managed to fit the ball right between all of them, which was a great pass on his part.
Yeah, I mean, Bell has just been spot on so far tonight. He's yet to have 1 overthrow, 1 underthrow. He's been very consistent throughout the game, and we haven't actually seen his athleticism in terms of his legs yet. We haven't seen him really run. We'll see it at some point tonight. This is a quick pass out to the right, and it's going to be broken up very quickly. That was probably his first mishap. The throw wasn't exactly accurate. I gave him the broadcast jinx. Kendrick Bell, if you're watching this after the game, I apologize. But good play by the Tigers. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 10.
Right, even with that bad throw, it might have saved his receiver there because the Tiger defense was coming in hot there. He had a great hit on the wide receiver, and that play would have gone nowhere.
Like you said, Austin, he almost bailed out his receiver. Bell dumps it off once again to Caldwell, and he's brought down immediately.
He's called by number 12, P.J. Caldwell.
He's brought down
made on the play by number 12, Xander Hall.
By Xander Hall. Had to get a little bit of help from the PA announcer there. That's going to bring up 3rd and 8 another chance for the Tigers to get off the field. They were to stop the Trojans and force a fourth down. I doubt the Trojans this early in the game would go for it on fourth down. So a big play here. Pressure from the Tigers, and it's a short pass. Great pressure from Wisner as well as Avion Wallace.
Yeah, I mean, that was great pressure there by the Tigers. You see they got around both sides, which put a lot of pressure on Bell to get the ball off. He did, but it was unfortunately inaccurate, and it results in a 4th and 8.
Somewhere south of 3 minutes remaining in the quarter. Don't have the official time. It is 4th and 8. The Trojans are going to punt it away. So Tigers defense officially off the field, and that's going to be punted out of bounds, spotted at the 40-yard line. That's where Elijah Martinez and the Tigers will take over. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back to Bud Hertzog Stadium after a few words from our sponsors.
Gear up at Academy Sports and Outdoors. It's back to school time, and at Academy, your favorite brands are all in play. Like Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, Crocs, Puma, and the North Face. Bring on the fun and get out there. Whether you're playing for the home team or perfecting your game at home, at Academy, we'll bring the fun to you. Buy online and pick up curbside or in-store and get free shipping on orders over $25.
Gear up at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Welcome back to Bud Hertzog Stadium. We apologize, we did miss a play. It was a play where Martinez was kind of rushed almost immediately. He gained a yard. It's going to bring up 2nd and 9.
All right, let's see if they can find Weiser here. He's got one-on-one in the middle of the field. I'm looking for a little slant by him.
Martinez rolling out to his right, something he often does. He's telling Josh Manning to go. And what a throw. That's Wisner on the left side of the field. He's going to be pushed out of bounds inside the 40. The athletic Tino Martinez creating more plays for the Tigers.
I mean, that's just a no-quit play. You cannot teach that in football or in any sport to never give up on that. I mean, the O-line, great job for blocking for that long. Martinez for getting away from pressure multiple times, and the receivers to keep on trying to find some open space. Overall, great play for the Tigers.
Yeah, probably not the way the doctor drew it up, but here we go. This pass is a one-handed catch by Wisner. What a catch. It's not going to go really anywhere in his stat sheet. He's coughed up basically right at the line of scrimmage. But, ladies and gentlemen, can you see why Max Wisner is committed to a Division I university for football?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much unstoppable there. Tell me one other person really in high school football that's going to be able to guard that high up. I mean, that's like maybe 10 feet plus there. No one's getting there.
I see Devin Andrews, the running back, putting out a key block for Martinez. He's going to get sacked anyway. But I did see that effort from Andrews. Martinez a little slow to get up, but appears he's going to be just okay. It seemed it was a pile of bodies around him. We're around, we believe, 1 minute remaining in this quarter. I sound like a broken record saying it over and over again, but there is clock issues on the scoreboard, so we're having to guess the time up here. Tigers looking to get another play in. 10 seconds on the play clock. That is functioning tonight. And Martinez keeps the option. He's going to run to his right, pushed out of bounds at the 35-yard line by Lauren White. And we see some players walking off, and we were correct. We were under a minute. That's the end of the first quarter. So we'll try to be we'll obviously try to be as accurate as we can in terms of quarters ending and stuff, but we were pretty close there, I will say. So early on, though, on paper coming into this game, I guess you could say the professionals, the people who are paid to make predictions, we're predicting a big Park Hill win tonight. So far, it's been a very closely knotted game. We're scored 7-7 Austin. Can you recap that first quarter for us?
Well, I mean, one, great defense by the Tigers. The Trojans have 7 points just really because of one play on fourth down they weren't really expecting. Tiger offense is on full gears, as you just saw. I mean, great execution on all their plays, really. And just think this Tigers offense really has a good chance of winning this game.
They really do. So far, those defensive adjustments that Max Weisner was talking to me about have seemed to pan out pretty well. And the Tigers are going to be coming out on 4th and 7. So let's see if they opt to have Alex Benassi punt this ball away or if they're going to go for it. They're at the Trojans' 45-yard line. Oh, they are not at the Trojans' 45-yard line. The ball just happened to be sitting on the 45-yard line.
Yeah, I was a little confused there because I was just about to say how McCarthy really could hit a field goal from here. I mean, during warm-up today, he was really spot on from that side of the field, and just kind of surprised they're going for a punt here. But, I mean, too early in the game to take really any chances, and it's still 7-7. Defense is playing good, and they still have a really good chance of winning this game.
What I am noticing is that's not Alex Benassi punting the ball away. That's Max Weisner, and it's a great punt. And, oh, the Tigers let it slip for a touchback. That looked like one of those where the Tigers could have pinned the Trojans within the 5. That's a great punt by Weisner. Why Alex Benassi wasn't punting that ball, I'm not certain. We did not get that news prior to tonight, so that's a little bit of a surprise to us as well up here in the booth. But a missed opportunity for the Tigers to pin the Trojans in. Kendrick Bell with much more room to work with at the 20-yard line rather than the 5.
I mean, we knew Max was a defensive player and a tight end, but who knew he was a punter too? I mean, that was a great punt. Really had a really good chance of putting him inside the 5-yard line there, but unfortunately the Tiger defense cannot enforce it.
Sometimes we struggle to find words to say because we have to talk for so long up here in the booth. However, that was Kendrick Bell. We mentioned he would get involved on the ground. He did just rush for 5 yards. So it's going to bring up 2nd down and 5 for the Trojans. We'll mention Bell did have a touchdown on the ground last week. He's been very involved with his feet. Him and Martinez are two pretty similar quarterbacks. Bell's proven himself a little more with his arms so far, though. That passes quickly over the middle to P.J. Caldwell once again. That's probably his 6th or 7th reception already tonight.
Right, yeah, it definitely is. I mean, he's been playing really well, just finding those seams in the zone defense. I'd like to see him go a little more man-to-man. I mean, I think that would solve that problem a little better. But when you go man-to-man, you have the risk of getting beat deep.
Play is coughed up pretty quickly. It was James Noel on the carry. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 8. Jalen Johnson, who's seeming to play more defense now than offense with Andrews in that offensive mix. Now he was the one with the tackle. Quick pass out to the right, and a good tackle by number 22, Eric Potts. The reception was number 14, Marquise Bell.
Pass is caught by number 12.
Yeah, Bell was going to Bell that whole time there. You can see right when he got the ball, he looked straight at Bell. Is maybe related to him, and he found that pass immediately.
And the Trojans with a really quick tempo so far. This play is going to be good for a 1st down. Guess who it is? P.J. Caldwell again. So far he's been very shifty, very elusive back there. And this Trojans offense running with a really quick tempo is seeming a little out of normality for them. Last week against Blue Springs, they had 33 minutes and 5 seconds. That was their official time of possession last week. They completely controlled that game. Blue Springs only had the ball for 15 minutes out of it. Bell rolls to his right, and this is going to be caught once again, this time by Marquise Bell. He's going to be short of the 1st down, but not by much.
Yeah, I mean, this quick tempo from the Trojans is certainly new, and I think it definitely is messing with the Tigers' defense. I mean, you didn't see it a lot in the 1st quarter, but now once we're in the 2nd quarter, Tigers are making adjustments to their prior offense, and the quick tempo from the Trojans is messing with them a little bit, and they got to figure out how to stop that.
It is, and it's a smart move by the Trojans, I will add. That's a great pass over the middle, and it is indeed hauled in by Max Fillion. Hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Tackle made by 12, Xander Hall.
Xander Hall brought him down, but
26, Malachi Mitchell.
that arm
First and
by
10 for the
Kendrick
Trojans.
Bell is very, very accurate, and we just saw it there.
Yeah, I mean, just like the sheer threat. I mean, he can run the ball, pass the ball, do whatever he wants with it, and he'll be good at it.
Here's another screen pass of sorts, and it's going to be dropped
Pass ball is incomplete.
by Fillion. Bring up 2nd and 10.
Almost kind of a blessing in disguise that he dropped that there, because we had 3 Tiger defenders there ready to just pounce on that, and maybe even a TFL.
Yeah, he looked like he was going to get clobbered. But this Tigers defense that allowed 539 yards last week, seeming a little more apparent this week. Pressure on Bell, and he's going to be chased down and tackled right around the
Kendrick
20.
Bell was the ball carrier.
It's going to bring up 3rd down and a good chance for the Tigers to get a stop.
I am blown away about how great Bell was able to hang on to that ball there. I mean, he was almost like, it was almost certain that it was going to fall out. Tiger defender had his arm, and he just didn't move, and it was a great, great run by Bell.
And Tiger seemed to jump in the neutral zone, but he got out of there quick enough to where it's not going to be a penalty. Play clock is down to single digits. It's at 7. Park Hill needs to hurry if they want to get a playoff. It's 3rd and 4. Bell's pass is going to be...
Pass ball is incomplete.
It's going to be incomplete. We couldn't see from up here in the booth where the ball was laying, whether it was in the receiver's hands or not. It's going to bring up 4th down. Will we see the kicking unit or will we see the offense stay on the field? That's the question.
Well, it looks to be the kicking unit coming out here. I mean, they really don't have any need to go for it on 4th down here. Just get your 3 points, get out, and put some pressure on the Tigers to score.
And the kicker for the Trojans, Scotty Robertson, we mentioned how consistent he was when he kicked his extra point earlier. He's 1 for 1 there. 3 for 3 on field goals so far this year. Make it 3 for 4. That's just wide right. Tigers are going to take over on downs. And they have a chance to take the lead, we believe, just south of 7 minutes remaining in the quarter.
Now, is that another jinx by us? I believe it was.
I want to formally apologize to all Park Hill football players. I've jinxed them quite a bit tonight. So I'm not going to say anything from Lee Summit's side of things, because I don't want to jinx Lee Summit players either. But I've been a little unlucky. The broadcast curse has been really apparent tonight from Austin and I.
Oh,
So-
yeah, and it's only the first quarter, just barely into the second quarter as well.
Yeah, lots of fingers are probably being pointed at me from people's TVs right now. Andrew's on the carry. He's going to pick up just a few. And the Tigers, them running the ball quite a bit, probably could favor Park Hill. They forced 2 fumbles last week in their win over Blue Springs. So a team that really can get in there and punch that ball out at any given time.
The Tigers are in a tough situation here. I mean, any team after a 50-0 win is going to be really confident. The Tigers have done well to keep their confidence low so far tonight.
Ball carrier,
Martinez,
number 3, Elijah
shifty.
Martinez.
He's able to get back right around the line of scrimmage. He gained maybe a half a yard. It's going to bring up about 3rd and 6.
Now, Tigers last week were not very successful on 3rd down, only 1 for 7 on 3rd down. And, I mean, if they want to win this game, they got to convert on 3rd down. That's just like, that's just set in stone.
Martinez running quite a ways to throw this ball. He's going to heave it deep. Weisner is kind of swallowed by a receiver. He's looking for a flag. He's not going to get one. That's pretty good defense from Park Hill. It was number 39, Riley Donsher, in the coverage.
Well, I agree with you there. I mean, with someone that big, you really have to be physical to even have a chance at not letting him complete that pass. I mean, let's be honest here, you're not going to get anything over Max. So you're going to have to be more physical with him below, which he was on that play, and it was really good defense.
Yeah, like you said, we both agree that was a really good defensive play by Donsher. Once again, hope we're pronouncing that correctly. Apologies if we're not. But you mentioned 1 for 7 on 3rd down last week, 0 for 1 that drive. This punt's going to be down just past the 50-yard line at the 48. That's where Bell and company will take over for the Trojans with, we believe, just south of 6 minutes remaining in the half.
Yeah, I mean, this defense just has to keep doing what they're doing so far. I mean, they've been really, besides one play I can think of, they've been containing this Trojan offense that has been proved to be so dynamic in recent games this year.
Someone we haven't seen involved yet from the Trojans offense and from a pass catching side of things, Jake Powell, number 87. Last week against Blue Springs, exploded for 6 receptions, 84 yards, and 2 touchdowns. We haven't seen much of him tonight. Who we have seen is Noel, the ball carrier. He's swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage.
Ball carrier is number 3, James Noel.
Well, I've also noticed how this Tigers defense that they've been finishing their tackles, so they haven't been letting many of the Trojan players break their tackles, which I think was a really big problem for them last week in their loss. So they've been doing a lot better in that today, and they've had a lot more success on the defensive side of things.
Yeah, the Tigers have had a pregame of sorts in terms of teams that play smash mouth football and really try to pound the ball through that offensive line when they played Lee Summit West and Lee Summit North. Tigers all over this one. It's going to be a sack in the backfield. He was down before he threw the ball, or else he certainly would have been penalized for intentional grounding. Great play by the Tigers defense. Johnson was the official one who brought him down. It's 3rd and 15. And look at that, the Tigers defensive line putting pressure on Bell, and he didn't know what to do.
Yeah, that's great defense right there. I mean, Johnson just came out of nowhere. And you know, as a running back, he's fast, he's strong. He's going to outrun Bell every single time, even though Bell is fast. And that's just so good of an asset to have on defense.
And there's going to be a timeout on the field by Park Hill. They want to get, I guess you could say, recovered, regroup after a pretty ugly offensive play. The Tigers did force 1 interception last week. So with a Park Hill offense that's throwing the ball quite a bit, we'll see if the Tigers can get anything on that side of things. But for the Trojans, I would say what's working well for them is that quick, high-tempo offense and those screen passes, those slants. The little things is what they're doing right that's hurting this Tigers defense. So if I'm the Trojans, I'm on a 3rd and 15 play. I'm doing some sort of post route over the middle. I'm not going for any super deep pass or anything like that.
Right, I completely agree with you there. I mean, you almost got to really look at PJ is going to get a ball here. I mean, he really just finds those seams in the defense and is really good at it, and I think that'll really help him to convert here on this 3rd and long.
Bringing up 3rd and long. Caldwell moving around. He's going to end up in the slot. Bell's going to draw it back. He's going to take off on the ground. He's going to gain a 1st down and slide to safety just past the 40. 54 rushes and 130 yards on the season, and he's showing us how there.
Yeah, just so dynamic there. I mean, he just really good at recognizing that no one is in the middle. They're all guarding the pass. They're all either rushing the quarterback, and there's just a giant empty space in the middle of the field that he can just run through. And that was great recognition there by Bell.
And when you look at this Park Hill team, just based off their schedule, they dropped their Week 1 game to Lee Summit West, where they only were able to put up 7 points. And since then, they beat Rockhurst, Blue Springs South, and as we've mentioned, Blue Springs. Beating Rockhurst is no easy task, and this team's really seemed to find their offensive identity. A lot of pressure on Bell, but he completes the pass anyway over the middle. There's number 87, Jake Powell, I mentioned earlier. 2 touchdowns last week, and he gets his team inside the red zone.
Yeah, I mean, with PJ's load already in this game, you're going to have to see that Jake Powell's going to get a lot more receptions. The Tiger offense almost kind of forgot about him on that play, and he was wide open down the middle of the field.
It's going to bring up 1st and 10 from just inside the red zone. I think the thing with Powell that the Tigers do quite a bit is that the Trojans do quite a bit is they have him block quite a bit, which is obviously common for tight ends. But whenever he, basically skips off his block and he goes into be a receiver, catches teams off guard. And obviously number 87 reminds you of Travis Kelsey. He's a pretty shifty guy. He's more elusive than most tight ends. The Tigers are going to take a timeout as they're going to discuss some strategy going on here. We believe we're around 4 minutes remaining in this half. We wish we could give you the official time, but unfortunately some scoreboard malfunctions going on. The only thing we can accurately 100% provide you is down and distance at the moment.
Yeah, this is going to be a crucial red zone stop for the Tigers here if they can get it. I mean, going into halftime, they need some momentum, and this could be perfect if they hold them to a field goal here.
The Park Hill student section may be a little small considering it's a pretty long drive after a long week of school, but they are making some noise over there. As from the Lee Summit side of things, always a good showing. Bell quickly throws to his right. It's Powell. He stays on his feet, and he is going to reach and get into the end zone for a touchdown. Park Hill responds to the Tigers before the Tigers respond to them.
17-yard catch and
That's going to put the Trojans back in the lead.
You know, I talked about this a few minutes ago. The Tigers were really good at not letting anyone out of tackles, but unfortunately in that case, they let Powell out of 2 tackles there, which led to the touchdown. Almost another jinx on our part.
I'm telling you, it's the broadcast curse. I said earlier Powell hadn't got involved, and he got 3 receptions on that drive. This kick is up and good. The consistent kicker, Scotty Robinson for Park Hill, puts it through the uprights. That's going to make it 14-7 Trojans over the Tigers. Once again, we believe just around 4 minutes remaining in the half. Sun is down. It's beautiful sky here. Beautiful weather. We see people in long sleeve shirts. We see people in short sleeve shirts. This is the type of weather that you love during Friday Night Lights.
No, I agree 100%. Way better than the first few games against Oak Park and against North, where those games were hot. Of course, no AC up here in the press box, which made it a little even more miserable. But now the weather's great, and we're enjoying it up here.
Yeah, it's we're not sweating. We don't need to have 5 fans going around the press box. We don't need to have a fan on our computer so it doesn't overheat. Life is good up here in the press box.
Oh,
and so far for this season, that's one of the first times it has been good. I mean, we enjoy calling the game, but we don't like being absolutely miserable sweating. And tonight, that's not the case. It feels great up here. And like you said, that week 1 win for the Tigers where they put up 42 points. Their offense has been a little silent since then, aside from last week. But tonight, looking pretty good, balanced on the ground and in the air. Kick is away, and it's going to be a touchback. With the automatic touchback rules in high school. Tino Martinez will bring his team out on the 20-yard line. That's where they're going to start this drive.
Now these Trojans have started to figure out the Tigers' offense here, but I really want to see the other Tiger wide receivers like Manning and Benassi get open, and I think they will here on this drive. I mean, they're both lined up out there right now. Of course, both their heights, they can really be unguarded one-on-one, especially from Manning with his just amazing athleticism. So I'm waiting to see that here on this drive. Andrews
With his elusive movement up the middle, he's going to pick up about 7. So obviously good move by Andrews, but good move by the O-line to build that hole for him. You mentioned Josh Manning, Alex Benassi, 2 very deadly receivers. They're lined up in front and behind each other on the bottom of your screen. It's another run, and this time the Trojans are on it, and Andrews is brought down right at the line.
Yeah, despite that run, the Tigers' O-line has been very good so far in this game. We haven't really seen that a lot over the first 4 games of the season. They've been a little shaky, but now on that play, they were really good, and especially in this game as a whole so far, they have been really putting up some numbers.
Yeah, Tino Martinez, we'll say his line from last week, he was 17 for 23, 198 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, a rushing touchdown, and an interception. So he already has a rushing touchdown tonight, so he's paving away last week. And look at Jalen Johnson. They're so used to Devin Andrews being back there that they forgot that they have a bull in Jalen Johnson to pick up yardage like that, and that's good for a Tiger first down.
Yeah, I mean, Johnson is such a good third down back, and just so powerful. You cannot stop him. He's going to get you at least 3 or 4 yards at the very least on almost every play he's in.
His yards after contact, we don't have that stat in high school, but if we were at the professional level and we had those stats available to us, they'd be through the roof. I mean, it's not even funny how powerful that guy can be. Martinez is going to be smothered in the backfield and brought down for a big loss.
Number 11, Teague Watcher.
Watcher brought him down, and we believe we're just under 2 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Martinez probably a little shaken up after that. That was, he's trying to stay alive back there.
Yeah, that was a missed assignment by the O-line there. I mean, it's just like missing an assignment at school. You're like, oh crap, I missed it. That's what the O-line felt there. They missed that assignment, and they got to the quarterback way too soon.
Yeah, you're like, oh shucks. This pass is intercepted over the middle, and it couldn't be better for Park Hill. Bringing in was Corby John. And with, we believe, around a minute and a half remaining in the half, it's trouble for the Tigers. And what an opportunity this is for Kendrick Bell and his Trojan offense.
You know, Martinez had great intent there. I mean, the pass was there. He just kind of missed through it a little bit. The angle was wrong, and the timing was a little bit wrong. If he let Weiser get a few more feet down the field, he would have had an open man and a game for about 20 yards. But instead, unfortunately, it is an interception for the Trojans.
You mentioned Martinez has thrown 2 interceptions on the year. That was his third. It was intended for Weisner, obviously a big target. You most of the times have to throw it in his vicinity, and he's going to do a pretty good job to knock it down. But in that case, let's just say that he was not as fortunate. Penalty flags fly. Tigers begin to walk back, and the Trojans are going to gain some free yardage.
Yeah, the main reason this defense has struggled this year is because of just like that, those mental errors, those just dumb penalties they don't need to give up, and they haven't really had a lot of those this game. That's why they've been, you know, playing really good football on the defensive end of things, and just they got to limit those and not let that affect their game.
It's going to bring up 1st and 5 for the Trojans, just outside the Tigers' red zone. They don't have much time. It's about 1:15. Bell rolling out to his right. He dumps it to Caldwell, his favorite receiver tonight, for about 5.
Yeah, but you're going to see a lot of Caldwell and a lot of Jake Powell here in this red zone drive. I mean, they got really, there's no issue with time. I mean, there is under a minute left, but we've seen with the Park Hill defense that one play can really dictate the whole drive and get a touchdown for them.
Yeah, you mentioned how just one play can change everything. That's how the Trojans got their first 7 points, and if that play didn't happen, then we don't know where we'd be right now. Bell scrambles over the middle towards the end zone. He's brought down just inside the 5 by Xander Hall. And it's going to bring up 1st and goal with not a lot of time left, under a minute.
Yeah, of course, we don't know how much time we have left in this half, but we know that there is less than a minute left, and so this Tiger defense could make a strong stop here, and that's what they really need going into halftime.
That's where here, if you're Park Hill and you accidentally run out of time on the clock here, then it's one of those things where you wouldn't normally it wouldn't normally happen to you. It's a little unfair of sorts. Whistles are going to blow, and a timeout's taken by Park Hill to stop the clock. With how much exact time, we don't know. But what we can assume is that with such little time, they're not going to go to James Noel. This would be Jake Powell territory, their tight end.
Oh, I completely agree. I mean, he's such a big body down low. He's almost like Weisner, but without, obviously, minus a foot, you could say almost. I wouldn't say quite a foot. That's a little bit harsh, but You know what I mean? He's such a big body. You can't really guard him that well unless you make a lot of contact with him, which in that case, there's a fear of pass interference. So, yeah, they're definitely going to be looking for him here. I mean, he scored 2 touchdowns last week on plays similar to this, and yeah, he's going to be looked here.
This is a Trojan offense that had 323 total yards in the previous week, 205 pass yards, 118 rush yards. And whenever I say those numbers and you think of how Park Hills really ran their offense tonight, it makes a lot of sense. So here comes the Trojan offense back on the field inside the 5. They're at the 4 for first and goal.
It's like they're running the same play that they were going to run before the timeout here. Looking for Powell over the middle.
Good pressure by the Tigers. It's going to be a foot race to the outside. That pass is going to be incomplete. Good coverage by the Tigers, not just by the pass rush, but also by the secondary.
Oh, yeah, absolutely great coverage there. I mean, there was almost like 4 or 5 wide receivers or route runners going out for routes there, and they managed to cover all of them, which is absolutely great, while keeping Bell quiet in the rushing game as well. So that was just a great defensive play there by the Tigers.
And players kind of waiting around. Clock obviously stopped with an incomplete pass, but Trojans quickly getting up to that line. 5 seconds on the play clock. They finally snap the ball. Bell is going to get himself tripped up. He just fell in the backfield.
Kendrick Bell was the ball carrier.
And that could prove costly for this Trojan offense. Once again, we don't know how much time's left. And if that ended up being one of the last plays of the half, then
3rd down and goal.
then that's a killer. He looked like he had a lane to the end zone. Just got a little too excited and his feet got tripped up.
He absolutely did there. I mean, he had 3 or 4 blockers right in front of him with about 2 yards to go, which was almost certainly going to be a touchdown. But unfortunately for Bell, but fortunate for the Tigers defense, they're still playing.
It's 3rd and goal from about the 4. Whistles blow. It's a timeout for Park Hill once again. They keep letting the play clock run down really low. And they need to talk things over. But from the Tiger side of things, you can't be, I guess you could say, angry with how their defense has played so far. They've done really well to a pretty electric and elusive Park Hill offense that has obviously shown themselves good in the air and on the ground. And whenever you come off giving up 69 points in a week, to give up as much as they have right now so far, with one of them just being a really big play, the Tigers, you got to give it to them for how they've came out tonight and put the past week behind them.
Yeah, I agree. And like looking at these past 3 leagues when they've lost 3 in a row, I mean, they're playing miles better tonight, and it seems that if in practice they've been just trying to mix up their defense and figure out what works best for them, which has been working a lot.
Touchdown, Trojans.
That's going to be a touchdown.
3-yard touchdown run.
It was Kendrick Bell.
Kendrick Bell, 3-yard touchdown run.
3-yard touchdown run. We're not surprised to see him getting involved on the ground. That play caught us by surprise up here in the booth. We weren't exactly ready, but the result's the same. 20-7 Trojans is now your score. And that kick is no good. So the score is going to stay 20-7. Not a lot of time left in this half. We know who's going on the field at halftime. The Tigerettes have had their mini camp all week. They're going to be who's performing at halftime. We won't be able to provide an audio experience for that, but our cameras should pick it up during halftime if you're so inclined. But so far, a few scores from around the metro area. Lee Summit North leading Blue Valley North 13-7 in the middle of the second quarter. And North Kansas City beating Staley. This is a little bit of an odd score, 7-2. That was last reported at the end of the first quarter. You don't see safeties every game, but that's how Staley has gotten on the board versus North Kansas City. That's a scrappy team that the Tigers are going to see later in this year. North Kansas City, a team that's very scrappy, a team that really likes to get under your skin. They've shown so far that they know how to play defense, and some teams don't like it.
Oh, absolutely. And sometimes they're just same way in soccer, same way in a few other sports as well. I mean, that's how they get you to fall apart and lose your mentality, and that helps them win games.
This is going to be a touchback.
First and 10 for the Tigers from the 20-yard line.
They'll take over at the 20-yard line with time remaining unknown. I'm sure Tino Martinez can ask one of the officials to check their watches, but obviously Tino Martinez is not hooked up to our headsets in the booth, so we can't get that information for you.
Yeah, and you got to wonder here how many plays they're going to be able to run here. I mean, there might, depending on how much time's left, there might not even be a risk in going for it, which they're not going to take a risk here and just run the ball.
And it was a pretty good run. Devin Andrews was the ball carrier.
Tackle was made by number 29, Will Bushman. Penalty flag is down.
Bushman made the tackle, and a penalty flag came in near the end of the play. We'll see what that was.
Call his face mask
It's
against
a face
the
mask,
Trojans.
and that actually could prove costly for the Trojans if there truly is enough time for the Tigers here to you know, put some points on the board before halftime. They're only down 13. Getting a field goal, obviously, would be the bare minimum points here. That would put them down 10. They do get the ball to start the second half.
This could be a wide receiver screen here. I mean, all four receivers are on the right side.
And it's exactly what you predicted, but it's a great tackle
Martinez pass by number 5, Josh
by Jack
Manning.
Palmer. He brought down Josh Manning almost
Tackle was
immediately.
made on the play by number 29, Will Bushman.
Yeah, I mean,
Tigers had 3 receivers lined up on the short side of the
Second
field,
down, 11.
and Austin Boyer knew what was coming.
oh, yeah, I mean, it was quite obvious to see there.
Tigers looking to actually throw the ball now. Martinez rolls out to his right. He throws it over the middle. It's just short of Manning for an incomplete pass. It's going to bring up 3rd and long.
Brings up 3rd down and 11.
3rd and 11 is the exact time. Tigers have 2 timeouts. Park Hill has 0. So if the Tigers were to just run the ball here to try to run the clock out, if there is as little time as we think, they'd be able to do so.
Well, at the same time, there could be 2 minutes here. No one knows, really, besides the officials and a few of the players.
Yeah, I'm sure most of the players on the sideline don't even know. This is a good run up the middle by Devin Andrews. It's not going to be enough for a first down,
Andrews with the carry.
but it's about an 8-yard rush.
Tackle is made by number 29, Will Bushman.
It'll bring up 4th down and short. 3
Fourth down
to
and
be
3.
exact. And the Tigers not really sure what to do here if they want to keep their offense on the field. When you have 2 timeouts like this, if you really want to keep a drive alive, maybe consider doing something like trying to get the Trojans to jump offside, but they're just going to let the play clock run to 0.
Timeout called by the Tigers.
They're actually going to call a timeout before it officially hit 0, so penalty avoided. That's their 2nd charge timeout of the half. And Tigers are running off the field, indicating it's halftime.
That's halftime.
That is halftime. Look at that. PA announcer Jim Melody helping us out a little bit. But we apologize for the lack of supply, I guess you could say, in the time department. We're trying our best up here with not showing up on the scoreboard. But it is halftime here at Bud Hertzog Stadium. The crowd staying into it. The cheerleaders, the loud crowd for Lee Summit, doing all they can. And they will get a little bit of a break, get their legs a little bit of a rest. 20-7 is your halftime score. Trojans over the Tigers. We'll be back for more football after just a little bit. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back for the second half. We're just moments away from second half kickoff. The Tigers will receive kickoff to start the second half. Our score is Trojans 20, Tigers 7. Austin, can you give us a little bit of a recap? What happened in the first half? How did we get to where we are right now?
Right, Tigers defense played well, which we haven't seen as much this year. Just a few plays kind of caught them off guard, and that's how the Trojans scored all their points. Tigers offense dominant early, scoring a touchdown right after the Trojans did, but unfortunately it fell a little quiet after they scored that first touchdown. But they're really down by not as much as they have been in previous games this year, so that's still very manageable for them to score. I mean, if they score on this opening kickoff, they're right back in it, and I want to see this Tiger offense do good the second half.
Yeah, you said score right on the opening kickoff. That is a possibility. Last week, Jeffrey Johnson, that 99-yard kickoff return touchdown that we mentioned. We are just about to kick off once again, so we'll go back down to the field. Back down on the field now. Going to kick off is the Trojans. It's Scotty Robertson. And it's going to be brought back by Johnson. And there goes Johnson, getting to the outside. Are we surprised? No. He's across the 40. And that's where the Tigers are going to start. Great field position to get back into this game.
The jinx was almost positive there. If he would have got through one or two more Trojan defenders, that could have been another 99-yard touchdown kickoff return, as crazy as it sounds.
Yeah, it would have gone down in the books as 99 yards, considering he touched the ball right outside the end zone. It's going to be a handoff to Devin Andrews, and he's explosive. He's breaking free. A first down and more. Devin Andrews obviously very successful so far throughout this game. Park Hill, who was able to force 2 turnovers last game, unable to force any so far tonight. Tigers have been, or aside from the late Martinez interception, they're going to go back to Andrews, who's going to be coughed up pretty quick. Actually, might have been Johnson on the carry. Couldn't quite tell from up here. Once again, the clock, they were still unable to get it working here in the second half to start things off, so we're going to try to keep time up here as best as we can. I believe we're about a minute in or so, so probably just south of 11 minutes remaining in the quarter. Just getting back underway. This time Martinez is going to keep and roll out to his left, and he's going to be brought down right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, on this third and long here, I'm really trying to see if they can find Weisner over the middle or Manning long, because they really haven't seen Manning at all this game, except for a few targets, but they haven't accumulated to anything so far. But yeah, he needs to get more involved in this game if the Tigers want some better chances at scoring.
Now, like you said, Manning is just an elite threat. Don't forget Alex Benassi. Don't forget Max Weisner. So many threats on this offensive side of things. Martinez looking deep, but he's not going to find anyone. He sneaks through a little gap, and that's going to bring up fourth down. He gains about 4 or 5. But that's not enough. Austin, is this fourth down territory for you?
You know, I think it is. I mean, they've already have the team just is full of energy so far in this first half, and one really good play here could dictate the rest of the half for them. But it looks like they're gonna punt with Weisner again here.
Yeah, opting to punt with Weisner instead of Benassi once again. Alex Benassi earned, I believe, all conference. It might have even been more. Honors last year for punting. He dropped tons of great punts. This one by Weisner is going to be sent deep. Another chance for the Tigers to pin the Trojans in. They do so right at the 1-yard line. So a great punt. And it's going to be probably the most ideal start for the Tigers defense that they could ask for, trying to just shrink that Trojan offense as much as possible. Kendrick Bell is not going to have a lot of room to work with. So far tonight, the Tigers have been pretty good at stopping inside zone runs.
Yeah, I want to see a blitz up the middle here from the Tigers. I mean, they're almost for sure going to run, and a blitz up the middle is just going to clog up that middle lane and not allow for the running back or Bell to get through. But chances are there could be a Bell rush here along one of the sides, outside maybe a little more, and that could prove very costly for the Tigers if they elect to blitz through the middle.
And that's something that's a very high possibility here. Trojans are going to elect to pass from the end zone, and they're going to dump one off really quickly to Jake Powell. That's going to be good for a first down already, so the Trojans got out of that one pretty quick.
Yeah, Powell did a great job of finding where the zone was and reading it, finding a crack, staying in that, and then pounding, and then we let Bell pound it with the ball right through there.
The quick tempo of the Trojan offense once again, and Bell, for the second time tonight, just trips up in the backfield. I'm not sure if that officially goes down as a sack, but it's a costly one. The Trojans right back up to their own 5. It's going to bring up second down and 19, and the possibility of a safety is back in play.
Even if he wouldn't trip, Jalen Johnson was right there to clean it up, and it could have even been farther back if he would have stayed on his feet.
On a play like second and 19, you might consider blitzing your outside. That's where the Tigers have been successful so far with Johnson and Wisner. That's exactly what they do. They're going to bring down Bell outside of the end zone. Not for a safety, however, it's going to be third and long, and very long, I should say. And they're going to be probably inside the 1 yard line. I mean, he was right outside of the end zone.
Yeah, I wonder what was going on in that locker room at halftime. I mean, they came out here. I could just tell from the way they came out that they were going to wreak some havoc. Yeah, they're going to wreak some havoc the second half, and they certainly have so far. Some great defensive plays by the Tigers, and I think that's just going to continue for the rest of this game.
3rd and 23 is the official down and distance. Pressure to Bell. He's going to heave it up, and that is going to be caught, and it's also going to be trouble for the Tigers. It's going to be a foot race to the outside, and just like that, it's another big play, and it's another Trojan touchdown that absolutely silences the home side of the crowd.
That necessarily was not bad defense by the Tigers. That was just a great route and a great throw by Bell to his receiver. I mean, Bell coming off that throw on his back foot, really not really that balanced, throws a perfect ball to the wide receiver, just able to outpace the cornerback.
Max Fillion with the catch and run. He would not be denied, and it's a shot to the heart from the Tigers side of things. Robertson's kick is up and good, making it 27-7. But I mean, from the Tiger side of things, it's 20-7. You have your opponent pinned in on the 1. An incomplete pass forces a punt from the end zone, and high school, it's really hard to block, on a punt. Really good opportunity there for the Tigers, but the script was completely flipped upside down, and you could hear a pin drop from the Tigers sideline, as well as the grandstands that are new here at Bud Hertzog Stadium once that catch and run occurred.
Oh, absolutely, Blake. And we were talking about it earlier in the first half, that once they got the Tigers pinned up on the next to the line of scrimmage, their whole team was up there, and just let them one-on-one back in the farther in like the deeper part of their defense. I mean, the Tigers are just too scared of the short routes there, which they really shouldn't have. I mean, it was 3rd and 23 on their own 1 yard line, but that ended up just working out for the Park Hill Trojans perfectly.
Perfectly is the way to describe it. I mean, when you look at the official statistic there, 99-yard touchdown from Bell to Fillion. About 55 yards after catch. Here's Johnson bringing it out, and he is going to be swallowed up by multiple Trojan defenders. And his forward progress stopped around the 16, so that's where the Tigers are going to take over.
Yeah, as I mentioned before that big play, the Tigers had a lot of mojo coming out of the locker room at halftime, but that's almost all gone now. So the Tigers really need to score here. They really need a few big plays here in order to flip that script.
We're about halfway through the third quarter, we believe. Probably around 7, maybe 6 minutes left. Don't know the official time because of the scoreboard not functioning properly. Andrews is hit as soon as he gets the ball handed off to him. And you can feel kind of from the Tigers side of things, I mean, that was a killing blow. I mean, it seems like a lot of energy has been lost, and the Tigers they're going to need to respond, and they're going to need to respond in a big way.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when you're down on when you pin your opponents on your 1 yard line after 2 great defensive plays, you really expect something good from your defense, and quite the opposite happened there, which really silenced the crowd.
This is going to be thrown to Josh Manning. Was he inbounds when he caught it? Yes, he was. If he was just a few inches to the right, he could have actually probably ran that all the way for the touchdown, but it's a great throw from Martinez, great over-the-shoulder catch by Manning, and the Tigers are back in business across their own 40.
Yeah, we really haven't seen a lot of people that can guard Manning one-on-one, and we saw that there. Manning, it was really not that bad coverage by the cornerback, but he just made a good move and was able to get a lot of yardage.
This is a quick rush by Andrews up the middle. He's going to gain 6, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 4. But we'll say it again. Josh Manning in that Lee Summit West game, 154 yards receiving. He was certainly all over the stat sheet. Last week, 7 receptions for 80 yards. So the same case as well. He's racking up the receiving yards. This is another throw to Manning. It's a wide receiver screen of sorts. He's going to pick up a 1st down. The chains will move eventually. And there's Manning once again.
That play results in a Lee Summit Tiger.
I mean, having Manning this active this early in the second half is a great sign for the Tigers. It puts a little preoccupation in the back of the Trojans' head, which is not really good because they have so many other targets they can go to as well.
Manning went motion before the snap. Martinez kept the option, and the Trojans read it pretty well. He's going to gain 3. And that's going to bring up 2nd down and 7.
2nd down and 7.
Really think they can go back to Manning here again. He looks like he's one-on-one on the outside. Looks to be against Sammy Hall, number 1.
And in that Tigers loss to Blue Valley, they did lose 69-36 last week. But they had 456 total yards, so they were not strangers on the offensive side of things. This is Manning using his speed to get to the outside, and it's a big play for the Tigers. They're going to be knocking on the door of the Trojans' red zone. I believe he was knocked out of bounds right around the 22. The chains will move, and the Tigers with a quick seeming response.
Yeah, absolutely great execution there by the Tigers. Wide receivers on the close side of the field, including Benassi. I mean, he was out there. He got a block. A few of the receivers got blocks for him, and that led him with an open gap for that.
Martinez keeps the option. He's going to run towards the end zone, and it's a good tackle by the Trojans, but it's going to be yet another 1st down for the Tigers. Martinez limping after that tackle. He's motioning to the sideline. He needs to come out. So we're going to keep you updated on that. Maybe Lauren Holdmeyer can give us some information on that. We'll let you know as soon as we know. But that's going to bring up a situation that I never imagined I'd be calling. Alex Benassi is going to take the quarterback helm for this play. All he does is hand it off, but it's actually going to result in a touchdown. The Tigers with a response when they needed one, and they are right back in it. It's number 18, Jeffrey Johnson. Look at that.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen him on kickoffs. You haven't really seen him in the run game. He's had a few runs sprinkled in there here and there. But that was great by him. I mean, he found the open seam. He penetrated right through it, and he ended up getting rewarded for it. They scored. They're now back in this game after that really long touchdown by the Trojans.
That's the exact response the Tigers needed. They didn't need a field goal. They needed a touchdown. That's what they got. Rowan McCarthy's kick is up and good. And so the Tigers do what they need to do. They get 7. We believe around 3-4 minutes remaining in the quarter. But the big story after that drive, Tino Martinez coming out of the game. His helmet is off. He's sitting on the bench. He's talking to Coach Thomas. So we're going to see if he's going to be able to return in this one. He looks shaken up down there. He's number 3 as the coaching staff kind of looking around right now, wondering, okay, what are we going to what are we going to do in the case of if Martinez is unable to return? This is whenever they'd put someone like Landon Shepard in at QB. However, Landon Shepard's in concussion protocol. So he's inactive tonight. So what's your response? They simply had Alex Benassi go out there and run the quarterback snap for that play, but it's just a handoff.
Right, and Benassi is not a terrible option either. I mean, back in the day, he used to play quarterback for his Pee Wee football team, and I mean, he's a great athlete. As we see, he's a great wide receiver, but he's also a great quarterback. He can zing the ball. He's got great arm strength. He's got great accuracy, and he'll do just fine if he's happens to stay in this game.
Yeah, if there's one person that can play any position on the field, no matter of his size, in terms of, obviously probably excluding offensive or defensive line, it's Alex Benassi. You said he's so athletic, and he can do so much for this team, and Coach Thomas is definitely thankful for him. This could be trouble, but it's not. Tigers with a good trip-up tackle there at the end. James Noel, the running back, was the returner.
Tackle by number 12, Xander Hall.
And Xander Hall brought him down.
Now it's been a story of one-play bangs for the Trojans so far in this game. And once you think the Tigers have got them where they want them, they just somehow make a great play happen, which the Tigers got to cut down on those. And if they just keep playing like they have been, for the most part, they've been playing really well so far in this game on their defensive side. They just keep those positives going, they'll have a great second half.
And we're not sure how up-to-date these are because we did get these a few minutes ago as this pass is caught, and the Tigers swarm number 89. Looks like Braden McClure. But interconference matchup, Park Hill South and Oak Park. At halftime, that was 17-7 in favor of Park Hill South, I should say. Rockhurst was beating Bishop Miege 10-0 at halftime. Those are just some scores from around the Metro. We'll keep you up to date on those as you continue to watch this one tonight. That's a good catch. It may be good for a first down, but it's Powell once again getting involved in the offense, and he probably, he probably definitely heard me say he wasn't involved earlier because ever since I've said that, he has about 6 or 7 catches.
Oh yeah, and it all just comes down to finding those seams in the defense, which he's done a really good job at, I should say, this far in the game, and he'll just keep on finding those seams.
This pass is going to be incomplete, intended for the running back, Knoll. Kendrick Bell seeming to have a few more incomplete passes now. I believe that's because of the pressure that Tiger defense is putting on him. Just unfortunately, obviously, you take away that 99-yard touchdown. That's not something you see every week. And you take away that 4th and 6 touchdown the Trojans had, then we have a tie game right now.
You call the Tigers a little lucky on that play there. I mean, the running back was wide open, just happened to miss throw just a little bit.
And there's another drop. Bell probably asking for some help. 2 rare drops from that Trojans offense. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 10. And a really good opportunity for the Tigers defense to get off the field.
Yeah, they need to stop here. Closing in on 1 or 2 minutes left in the third quarter. And you have to think, how much is that extra point going to cost them that they missed earlier in the game? I mean, it's 14-27. If the Tigers get this ball back and score, it'll be 21, hopefully to 27. And yeah, that extra point could come back to haunt them.
Bell rolls out to his right, throws one deep. And it's an absolute dime. I mean, what a catch, what a throw. I mean, he had to put that pass in the exact place that he did. I mean, what a catch. Caldwell, who's been Bell's top receiver the entire night. It's once again a huge blow to the Tigers defense. And just when it seemed like the Tigers were going to get off the field, they're unable to do so. Bell forced to scramble. He's going to throw one incomplete, intended for Fillion.
Man, going back to that last play, it was similar to their 99-yard touchdown play. It wasn't really bad coverage. It was just an amazing pass and an amazing catch. I mean, this is like Tom Brady level clutch here. Bell stepping up when they need him to the most, and they have been really successful after those.
And it may seem cheesy at the high school level to compare someone to Tom Brady, but that's seriously a throw that some professionals struggle to make. That is a heck of a throw by Kendrick Bell, and he's definitely going to be adding that one to his highlight reel. This is a good tackle in the backfield for the Tigers.
Pass is caught by number 12, P.J. Caldwell.
That was Xander Hall, I believe.
Xander Hall. 3rd down and goal.
It's going to bring up 3rd and goal, so once again, a huge play here. It's probably 4-down territory if I'm the Trojans here. That is a touchdown here would seriously help their case. Bell with pressure, and he is going to go down in the backfield. Oh, no, he's not. I expected a sack. He's going to throw it to the end zone now, and it's dropped. Wow. I mean, I'm not exactly sure what just happened on that play. A lot of things went down. I called a sack before it happened. Wow. I mean, basically, Austin, can you recap what just happened, since I didn't do a very good job of calling that play?
Well, yeah, you thought he was about to go down, and then you jinxed it once again, Blake. Great job. He stayed up, and he found an open receiver in the end zone. But he just dropped it. I mean, that's about as good of a pass as you can make if you just dropped it.
And as talented as James Noel is as a running back, that is definitely one of the plays where he went to the sideline and his coach said, "That's why you're a running back."
21-yard field goal.
That kick is up and good.
By Scotty Robertson.
Scotty Robertson staying consistent. It's going to make the score 30-14, so still a 2-score game. But the Tigers do have their work cut out for them. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back in just a few moments after a quick word from our sponsors.
Whether we're rising to meet a moment or the moment comes to meet us, we make our mark by showing up for our team. And when we do, we build something special. We become something bigger, more than something that can be defined on a map. We become a community with a shared understanding that when we rise together, we rise higher. Community America, powering the rise of Kansas City.
When it comes to painting the exterior or interior of your home, the decision is easy. Unique
Had to cut that second commercial just a little short. We are back for some football late in the 3rd quarter, probably around 2 minutes to go. If you're just joining us, I'm Blake Heisey. Alongside me, Austin Boyer, our producer, Elena Twinner, also for Lauren Holdmeyer on the sideline. Also have to give credit to our camera workers tonight, Makai Clayton and Nick Bellamy. Can't forget our advisor, Elaine McDonald, either. Here is Johnson in the backfield. He does a little juke move, and he is still on his feet, and he has room to run with. You can tell he's running out of gas, though. He's going to be brought down after a really good chase down tackle from Lauren White. But the Tigers with about a 10 extra yards of field position they would have normally had.
Yeah, like, it's just great IQ there by Johnson. How do you even have the idea to do that? I mean, there's 3 guys on you on the far side of the field, and then you magically just swing over. I mean, with that speed, it's very possible for him, and he's been proving good as a kick returner here for the Tigers so far in the season.
Yeah, he always gives that spark when they need it. And late way through the 3rd quarter, with the way this game's looking, Tigers are going to need a score. And Martinez looking a little shaken up still. He's back on the field, but you can tell he really is trying to stay off. I believe it's the left foot that he is really struggling with right now. That takes away a huge part of the Tigers' offense, because Coach Thomas, who calls the plays for the Tigers, loves to run options with him and try to trick the defense. Whereas, you're taking out now a huge part of your running game in your quarterback. This is going to be a handoff to Andrews, who explodes up the middle. His boost of speed been very vital to the Tigers' success on offense tonight. He's going to gain about 6 or 7. It'll bring up 3rd and short.
Yeah, I mean, who needs that option when you got Andrews and he can just run up the middle every time? I mean, the O-line's been doing a great job this game as making seams in primarily the A and B gaps, getting him open and getting him some space around, which has been really great with the Tigers this game, and it's a positive they've definitely occurred from these first few games.
They hand it back off to Andrews, but he is swallowed up immediately.
Devin Andrews with the carry.
And if you're the Tigers,
Tackle was made by number
could
11.
consider going
Team
for it here
Watcher.
on 4th down. I mean, from the Tiger side of things, I don't mean to sound like a Debbie Downer, but you're 1-3. You're looking for a win, and sometimes you got to be gutsy. And looks like this may be 3rd down. We may have been a down 2 ahead of ourselves. Well, now it does say 4th. On the other side, is it 3rd or 4th down? We are not sure. There's been a lot of miscommunication between the scoreboard and down on the field tonight. We don't have a running clock that we can clearly see from the booth, or rather that anyone can see. This is a screen to Benassi. Regardless, they're going to get the 1st down. So, good by the Tigers. Good speed by Benassi. And that's keeping the drive alive.
Yeah, great blocks there by Weisner and Belt there. Just to give them that extra yardage. I mean, they're not going to get a lot of yardage off that play since there's only 2 blockers, but they still just got what they needed.
Martinez dumps it off to Manning, and he's going to gain about 5 or 6. Maybe a little more. It's going to bring up 2nd and pretty short. This is when I'd punch it up the middle with Andrews if I was the offensive coordinator.
Yes, I'm still waiting for that big play to Josh Manning down here. I mean, looks like he's got some zone coverage down there on the front side. I could be wrong. We're going to take a timeout here regardless, or that could be the end of the 3rd quarter.
Whether it was the end of the 3rd quarter or simply a timeout, we will let you know as soon as we know. It's been a little bit of a crazy night in terms of getting information that typically is the easiest to get up here in the booth. All we have to do is look at a scoreboard, but tonight, scoreboard is off, so hasn't been much of a help for us up in the booth.
Right, and it's not as easy doing it with a little timer on our iPhones either.
Yeah.
Very tough. It's like it is the 4th quarter, though.
I mean, you literally did say it, though. We have the timer app pulled up on our phones trying to start and stop it, and while we try to call the game, look at numbers, it's not the easiest thing in the entire world. But you did just hear the PA announcer announce it was the 4th quarter, and Micaiah Clayton, one of our camera workers, did note to Austin a few seconds ago it was the 4th quarter as well. So shout out to Micaiah. She's on it for us. So coming into the 4th quarter, Tigers trailing 14-30 to the Trojans. Been a pretty even game up to this point, and it doesn't look like that on the box score, but anyone who's watched this game has seen that the 2 touchdowns that the Trojans are leading by were 2 big plays that could have been prevented from the Tiger side of things. 2nd and 2, Martinez throws over the middle. It's Josh Manning. You said he was due for a big play. There it is, and the Tigers are cooking now.
Yep, you've seen Manning line up right behind Benassi a few times the second half, which is an adjustment they most likely made at halftime in order for him to help get open, and it certainly has done them wonders so far in the second half.
1st and goal.
It's 1st and goal from just inside the 10-yard line. It's 4-down territory, no doubt. This is passes thrown to the outside. Josh Manning catches and reaches, and he breaks the plane for a touchdown. The Tigers back in this game.
Yeah, what a throw and what a catch by the offense there. I mean, Martinez and Manning, that's just like a automatic duo there. I mean, they're so lethal in every aspect. And you saw it there in those last 2 plays. They were just completely together, completely in sync, and it ended up paying off for the Tigers offense there.
That was a great play. It might have looked like a simple throw and catch, but Martinez threw that ball before Manning even turned around. So that's when you know the chemistry between those 2 is there. This is a critical 2-point conversion, though. And the Trojans, did Martinez get them to jump, or did the Tigers jump? Martinez got them to jump is the correct answer. For those of you wondering or trying to play along at home to our little game of Trivial Pursuit.
I like that word. I'm not really opposed here to a Jalen Johnson just run up the middle. I mean, it's almost like that could be a possibility, but they put Andrews out there, and I mean, he can almost do the same thing. He's not quite as big, but he's just as lethal.
It's a quick dive up the middle, and the conversion is good from Andrews. They listen to you, Mr. Austin Boyer. And just like that, the Tigers, half their work, or I should say half the deficit, is cut away. It's 30-22. And one score game is now the stage with just about 11 minutes remaining in this game.
Right, and now you start to wonder, I was talking about it earlier in the second half, how much that mixed extra point and that missed field goal from such an automatic kicker is going to affect in the rest of this game. Because if the Tigers are to stop here, I mean, they are pumped up on the bench, and they are still in this game. They only need one stop here and one touchdown to tie this game up.
And whenever you're the Trojans in a late game situation like this, you kind of are caught where you don't know what to do. Do you want to keep throwing the ball, or do you want to chew away as much clock as you can by running the ball? Even though they haven't been the best at running the ball tonight, they've really relied on their pass game to make big plays for them. However, that decision may be made easier for them by the fact that we are now getting raindrops. And it's not really raindrops, it's straight up rain kind of coming down here at Bud Hertzog Stadium, enough to where it could make the ball, slippery. As you see, Max Weisner having to hold the ball for the Tigers to be able to kick this one off. It's actually Grant Thomas, that's not Max Weisner, holding the ball for McCarthy to kick off. McCarthy's kick is still a good one, and it's still a touchback.
First and 10 for the Trojans from the 20-yard line.
So Trojans will take over. About 11 minutes to go. What are we going to see in these last few minutes, Austin?
Well, since it's raining, we might see a few more dropped balls, and we saw it in the North game after that long rain delay and that long weather delay. We could see that, and that could benefit the Tigers here, as they need a really big stop here in order to turn the ball over, get a touchdown, and just to get them keep themselves in the game.
And I can see down there just by looking, that Tigers sideline is fired up. And the flag does come in. It's going to be
Offside
against the Tigers. The Tigers side of things were kind of yelling that it should have gone the other way around. That's not the case. That's a costly penalty because you're obviously, if you're the Tigers, trying to get the ball back as soon as you can. And first down and 5 is not a good start.
Right, that is the case, but I don't think it's time to panic quite yet. I mean, they still have a whole quarter on their hands. They still have all their timeouts and all that stuff. So they should be in good position here.
First down and 5. Kendrick Bell hands it off. And this is going to be a first down.
Ball carrier is number 3, James Noel.
Number 3, James Noel, coming off a 11 rush for 91 yards and a touchdown game. He had averaged 8.3 yards per carry in that win over Blue Springs last week. So he's been very involved tonight for the Trojans, and he actually cost them 4 points with his drop on their previous drive.
With that penalty that made it 1st and 5, this is really when the drive starts. I mean, obviously it's high school. They're most likely going to get that first down on 1st and 5. So this is when the Tigers got to turn on their mindsets and just play some good defense here.
That is thrown to Cardwell, who will get up near the first down marker.
Bell's pass is caught by P.J.
It's a gain of 9 officially. And if I were to guess, I would say the 3 people that Bell is going to get involved most late in this game are Noel, Powell, and Caldwell.
No, absolutely agree. I mean, those people have been their main factors here for most of the game. I don't see why they would change it. I mean, they've already scored 30 points, and that's really good against this Tiger D at home, how they've been playing so far. So I'm looking to see more of them this far as well, Blake.
Bell rolling out to his right. He finds Powell over the middle. Just what we predicted. They're going to go across midfield.
Number 87, Jake Powell.
And they are going to chew that clock as much as they possibly can.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're going to stick to the pass game here, too, because the Tiger D line, the linebackers have been doing a good job on those run plays of clogging up the running lanes for their running back. So they need to stick with the pass here in order to actually gain some significant yardage.
Yeah, you said it best. I'm being overly cautious if I'm Park Hill right now. I don't want to turn the ball over. Noel is brought down after a gain of 1.
James Noel with the carry. Tackled by number 31, Jimmy McGovern.
Jimmy McGovern brought him down. He's been very involved on the tackling side of things tonight for the Tigers defense. A name we've heard announced quite a few times on the PA system. And Park Hill definitely taking their sweet time now, and that's the smart move.
Yeah, Max is going to come. Max Wise is going to come sprinting off this edge. Oh, he doesn't. He pulls back out.
It's another handoff to Noel, and he is swallowed up once again. He didn't even get past the line of scrimmage. Jalen Johnson brought him down, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 9. This is the opportunity that the Tigers need to take. I've given them the broadcast curse all night long, but now that I am mentioning it, maybe that'll change for the Tiger side of things.
Yeah, let's hope, fingers crossed here for this Tigers D. They got to make one good play to get off the field.
And look at that. He's going to be brought down in the backfield. It's a Tiger sack. And the Tigers believe the ball popped out. It did not. Bell held on to it. It's going to be 4th and quite a lot. And there is the stop the Tigers needed.
Yeah, look at that bench. It is fired up right now. The loud crowd is on their feet. Tigerettes and the cheerleaders are on their feet as well. And I think they know they got a chance of beating this team. I mean, they're severely outmatched. I mean, 81th in the state versus 26th in the state. I mean, it's quite a big difference of ranking there, and I still think that the Tigers have a great shot at winning this game.
Tigers are going to get okay field position. They'll take over on their 30. And this is one of those types of games where if you can win this game, I mean, this is one of those wins that could turn around your season. That Tigers bench looks very, very into it right now, and this is everything that's happened so far tonight. It's led down to this drive. Can Tino Martinez, the junior, lead the Tigers to a game-tying score here? If they get the touchdown, they have to get the 2-point conversion. Only time will tell. It's a handoff to Andrews up the middle, and that's a good start.
All right, in this second half, for a team that just won 50-0 against Blue Springs, they almost have no confidence. I mean, just look at them over there. They're all standing around. They're not really getting excited for their defense. And the Tigers are really the exact opposite. They're hyped up. They know they can tie the game on this drive here, and their defense is playing well enough where they can get a stop if they need one as well.
Andrews takes it once again. Good blocking. He's going to try to hit the outside edge. He's going to gain about another 10. He's going to be right out at the 48 on the Tigers' own side of the field. It's a Tiger first down. We believe there's around 8 minutes remaining in this game.
This is about as engaged as we've seen the crowd and as you've seen the loud crowd really this whole year about Hertzog Stadium. I mean, they are pumped up. They know that this is a very good team, this Park Hill Trojan team, and they know they have a really good chance of beating him right now.
Andrews takes it again up the middle, and he's going to get in for a first down and more.
Another nice run by Devin Andrews.
The fans who were not afraid of the rain getting loud.
31, Lauren White.
And it's going to be a first down for the Tigers.
And that's not good. Running back Andrews is slow to get up, which is really been their whole offense on this drive. I mean, he's been getting a lot of carries for a lot of yards so far, but man, they really need him to stay in this game.
They do need Andrews to stay in the game, and if he's unable to continue at the workload that he's been given so far tonight, it's not the end of the world. They have Jalen Johnson back there. He's just not as quick. However, he's probably much more stronger than Andrews. It's kind of like pick your poison with this Tigers offense. But so far, it's so good for the Tigers. And you mentioned the Park Hill sideline seeming a little down, the fans seeming a little down, not as energetic, and we can't hate on them because you probably, if you're Park Hill, you probably aren't assuming the Tigers are actually going to come back and give them a run for their money, but that's exactly what they're doing. The Tigers, what seemed like against all odds, are just, they're giving the Trojans a run for their money, and this handoff is blown up in the backfield. It was Jalen Johnson, who we just mentioned, but he basically had nowhere to go. Park Hill did a really good job of getting in there quickly.
Right, and it was kind of absurd of how long he stayed up to. It took one lineman plus a linebacker coming in with a massive hit. I mean, I talked to him earlier. He said he wants to beat the school record in the squat. He's got 550 right now, which is absurd for a guy his height.
It's a dump pass to Josh Manning on the outside. It'll bring up third down, and the Tigers get back to their original line of scrimmage. Obviously, in this part of the game, 4-down territory. So you have to look at it in the fact that you have 2 plays to get 10 yards. What do you draw up here, Coach Austin?
You know, I draw up here either a slant over the middle to Weisner or maybe a one-on-one to Manning down the field. I mean, that's worked for them the second half. I don't see why they wouldn't go to it right here.
It's a handoff to Johnson, and he's got a decent hole. He's going to gain about, let's see, about 7 or 8 of the 10 yards that was to gain. It'll bring up 4th and short. And this is not do or die for the Tigers. There's still a good chunk of time, probably about 6.5 minutes. So if they're unable to get this, it's not the end of the world.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if I see another Jalen Johnson run up the middle here. I mean, he got 7 yards in the last one. He's such a big guy that he can get you those 2 or 3 yards you need on those 3rd or 4th down situations.
And the Tigers are going to take a timeout and talk about it. While they talk about it, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be right back after a word from our sponsors.
No matter what your goals are, competing at the next level, participating in a local 5K, or leading your team to state. The Sports Medicine Center at Children's Mercy is here to provide comprehensive 360-degree care for student athletes. Performance training, injury prevention, rehab services, nutrition, mental wellness, surgery, and more. It's not just about the next goal or the one after that. It's about supporting a lifetime of sport.
Welcome back to Bud Hertzog Stadium. And the Tigers are going to convert the first down. Alex Benassi on the outside. Athletic is the only correct word to describe him.
And athletic might even be an understatement. I mean, just the guy is everywhere. He plays football in the fall, basketball in the winter, and golf in the spring. So he's really a full, all-around athlete. He plays multiple positions in every sport he plays, and just a different breed.
Andrews back in the game, and he's going to be not able to go anywhere. He gains 1 yard. Bring up 2nd down and 9. When we came back, the PA announcer announced that there was 5:15 remaining in the game, so we're at about 4.5 minutes remaining. That's a rough but pretty accurate estimate, given that we were just told that about a minute ago. And the Tigers, with that clock dwindling down, it becomes more of a necessity to score on this drive. Play action. Martinez to the end zone for Manning. It's just a little too far. Incomplete.
Now that's the route he's been running all game. Manning kind of stops like he's going back on a curl route, and then he fakes and goes back up the field. And with this speed, it's kind of hard to guard because, I mean, you're really faked out. You don't know if he's going to go back as a curl or go up, and that's what beat you there. I mean, it was open there, just a little overthrown by Martinez. But really the main concern there is underthrowing it and just to play it safe there.
3rd and 8 for the Tigers. Martinez dumps it off just in time to Manning, and the Trojans are all over it. It was number 31, Lauren White, getting there first.
Josh Manning.
It's going to bring up 4th
Tackle is made on the
and
play
10.
by number 31, Lauren White.
Tigers offense will obviously stay on the field. Just under 4 minutes remaining in this game. 1 score is all the Tigers need, plus their 2-point conversion. You might see Max Weisner, Alex Benassi, Josh Manning. You don't know who's going to be involved here. But the Tigers can do a lot of different things. What will they do? Martinez throws, and Benassi is rocked in the air. Tigers are going to turn it over on downs with around 3:20 remaining.
I don't hate that play there. I mean, it's obviously 4th and 10. It's going to be hard to convert anyways. But, I mean, that means that they put the Trojans offense back pinned pretty deep in their own half with only 4.5 minutes to go. And with this Tigers defense that's been playing pretty outstanding here in the second half, they didn't get the ball back just like that.
And we mentioned how this is one of those games from the Tiger side of things that if you're able to win, it could turn around your season. But if you, in this case, were to come up just short after having a really good comeback and being able to stay in it all night long, it's one of those that could actually hurt you as well because it can be really demoralizing. But it is a good response from the defense side of things. And the Trojans opting to throw the ball here. It's complete to Powell over the middle. They're going to gain about 5.
You know, as you said earlier, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, that's exactly what the Trojans are doing here. I mean, what's wrong with just going over the middle? I mean, that's worked for them all game. It's been there all game for them. And it's clearly still is working here in the closing moments of the fourth quarter.
Xander Hall was the one who brought him down. He's also been very involved in the Tigers' tackling department tonight. And another pass play for the Trojans. And it's going to be hit out of bounds. It was caught by Marquise Bell.
Kendrick Bell's pass is caught by number 14, Quez Bell.
And the chains are going to be signaled to move, so it is good for first down.
Max Cates. First and 10
Clock
for the
stopped
Trojans.
around 2:45.
The Tigers still have 2 timeouts here. They still can afford to give up a few more first downs before they really have to start panicking and really having to use their timeouts.
You're in the area where we might need to start saying it'd be a miracle for the Tigers. You mentioned they do have 2 timeouts. This is a sweep, and that is devoured, and it's a huge loss for the Tigers. For the Trojans, and Avion Wallace is the one who brought him down. He read that play from the very beginning.
Yeah, great job by Wallace there to get off his block. I mean, that's not an easy guy. That's a huge guy that's blocking you there. He ended up getting off him, and that is a great play. That's a loss of 10 for the Trojans, and just what the Tigers needed here in the fourth quarter.
So this is whenever you need to kind of start doing the math. We have pretty good math teachers here at Lee's Summit, so we're going to try our best to break this down for you. So we have about 2:30 remaining in the game. And let's see, if the Tigers have 1 timeout remaining, if we're able to call timeout immediately after this play, say that brings us down to about 2:20. And if the Tigers don't allow a big play, if you're the Trojans, do you go for the pass to try to end this game and get the first down? If you do and it's an incomplete pass, you're looking at the Tigers getting the ball back around 2:05, something like that. However, obviously the complete opposite could happen where Trojans do get a first down, because in this case a first down would end the game. So we could be about 5 minutes from this game being over. In the Tigers' case, that they get the ball back could be about 15.
Right, absolutely. And with this Tigers offense that we could see on the field here pretty shortly, if the defense stops them, they can really change the play with one play, or change the drive with one play. And we've seen that already with Manning so far in this second half. And I think if they go back to him late in this fourth quarter, they can do some damage to this Trojans defense.
It's going to be a pass play on this one, and it's a receiver open over the middle. It's Caldwell. He's knocked out of bounds.
Kendrick Bell's pass is caught by number 12,
Short
PJ
of the
Caldwell.
first down, I believe, by just a
Tackled
yard.
by number 12, Xander Hall.
And this is going to be a dogfight. It's going to be 3rd and 1. This is the game from the Tiger side of things. If they're unable to get a stop here, the Trojans will be able to safely run the clock out. Obviously, a stop would get the Tigers the ball back, unless the Trojans went for it on 4th down, which is a high possibility. Bell rolls out to his right. He is short of the first down. Jalen Johnson was there on the tackle. It's going to bring up 4th and 1. Bell's a little shaken up, and now you have decision time if you're the Trojans. You have the chance here to win the game if you can gain 1 yard. However, if you don't gain that yard, great field position for the Tigers to get back in this.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, The Park Hill spectator section and the fans were kind of mad about that. There could have been a horse collar there on the quarterback by Jalen Johnson, but it was not called. And this is a very important play.
And I don't think Bell realized the Trojans had an opportunity there to put this game away.
Timeout called by the Trojans.
They were just trying to get the Tigers to jump offside, it looked like, before they took their timeout. They didn't see Alex Benassi was the 12th man on the field sprinting off in the secondary. You snap that ball, you get 12 men on the field on the Tigers, and you win this game. So I guess you could say the Tigers caught a huge break there. That's the fastest I've ever seen Alex Benassi run off the field.
Right, and I don't really think that the Trojans were really ready to call a play. They were just going to see if the Tigers jumped off sides. So that might have been what Bell was looking at, is trying to get the Tigers to jump off sides more than them actually trying to make a play and get a first down here as they call their timeout.
And obviously when they watch film later tonight, the Trojans are going to see that opportunity that they just missed. The Tigers almost just shot themselves in the foot, but they dodged the bullet, and the Trojans still could be going for it on 4th and 1. And it looks like that's what they're going to do. And this place is about to get loud.
Yeah, this is a win-loss situation here for the Tigers. They need this. All the big boys are out for the Trojans.
Bell takes the snap, and he is... Was he denied or not? There's no official signal yet. Waiting for a marking. The officials discussing.
The officials timeout for measurement.
The officials are going to take a timeout.
Oh boy.
And it's a game of inches at this point. The measurements are coming out. The Tigers believed immediately that they stopped the Trojans on 4th down there. We're waiting for the discussion to conclude. And if the Tigers don't get this, I think they're going to be pretty upset. But
it did look like he was a little short there, I'm not going to lie. I mean, it was a great play call by the Trojans, faking the pass and going with the run up the middle. I just saw Bell kind of run up to the center and get the ball from him, but he bounced out to the far side of us, and the Tigers were there to meet him.
We have our binoculars out. He is short, and the Tigers have life. Who would have thought? On 3rd down and 1, the Tigers get a stop. On 4th down and 1, the Tigers get a stop. And ladies and gentlemen, with just about 2 minutes remaining, Elijah Martinez is going to have a chance to lead this team to a tie ball game. Austin, who would have thought?
No one really. I mean, on that 3rd and 1, we thought that it was kind of looking bleak for the Tigers, but they put up 2 great plays to stop them here. And I don't think I've ever heard this much energy at Bud Hertzog Stadium than I have right now. I mean, the crowd is fired up, and I love it.
I mean, we had great camera work there. It was Nick Bellamy who was able to show us right down on the field that measurement. So thank you to Nick, but we got very excited up here in the booth, and we saw the Tigers players just sprint off the field in excitement. And the Trojans are playing to keep this game out of overtime now. Wow. It's a handoff to Andrews. He's going to gain about 5 or 6.
Andrews with the carry.
The scoreboard is right. They still have 2 timeouts, but who knows at this point.
Second down and 5.
I believe we're under 2 minutes remaining in the game. Crunch time. It's another handoff. Andrews will push for a few more yards. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 2. Timeout on the field by the Tigers.
Timeout Tigers. Tackle is made on the play by number 4, Paris Graves.
We believe about a minute and a half remaining in this game now.
Let's see if we get an official update from the PA announcer, Jim Melody, to see how much time's left in the game. Because for all we know, there could be 2 minutes left or 30 seconds left.
Yeah, it's a really big handicap, not having that scoreboard working, which is a little ironic considering the stadium was just redone. But problems occur. They happen, and there's no way around them. So we've been pretty flexible tonight, as well as everyone has in the other press box. Getting ready, we still haven't got an official time announcement from the PA announcer. The only people who know how much time is officially left are the officials on the field.
I want you to look at the backside here. That's Manning one-on-one.
Martinez throws it to the end zone, and it's just out of reach for Benassi. I think everyone on the Tigers' side of the stand stood up, and Alex Benassi had to know that every single person on this live stream and in the building was watching it.
Oh, so close there. I mean, if Benassi, there's not much he or Martinez could have really done there. I mean, that was a good ball, just maybe 6 inches or so away from getting that touchdown. I mean, Benassi went out full effort there, diving play, just unlucky.
On our watch up here, we have 1 minute exactly remaining. That's not probably the exact time, but we're around there. It's 4th down and 3 for the Tigers, though. That snuck up on us.
It sure did.
I don't know if I really agree with the play to go deep for the end zone when you need to get 3 yards or else you lose this game. This is a do-or-die situation. The pass is dropped, and after all that, the Tigers look like they're going to come up just short.
Yeah, that'll most likely seal the deal there. I mean, drop pass by Manning, but it wouldn't really have gone anywhere. The whole Trojan defense read that play, and they were almost half the defense was over there ready to pounce on that, and they sure were.
Really unfortunate from the Tiger side of things. If you're the Trojans, you can just kneel this out now. They are already going into victory formation. Tigers just not enough time. They were unable to execute on that late drive. And if that pass to Benassi was just about a yard closer, we could be in a completely different situation right now. Obviously, very difficult throw that Martinez had to try to make there. But you have to admire the fight in this Tiger team. Did not give up despite being down 30-14, about 10 minutes left in this game. And we believe that may have just been the final need. And it indeed was. So after game time of 2 hours and 22 minutes, the Trojans screech out a win over the Tigers by a final score of 30-22. The Trojans going to give their supporters that made the trip props for showing out for them as the clock on our watch hit 0. Really unfortunate from the Tiger side of things, but sometimes you just come up short, and that's what happened tonight. Austin, any final thoughts before we sign off tonight?
Well, despite the Tigers' tough loss, that was a great defensive performance by them. I mean, really I can think of 4 or 5 plays that really burnt them. And other than that, they were almost perfect. I mean, the run game was almost non-existent from the running backs and Bell, which proved to be so lethal on their feet earlier in the season. I think there's a lot of positives to take out of this game for the Tigers.
Yeah, you said it. The Tigers, a lot of positives to take out. They've really improved in a lot of areas, you can tell. And it's just really, really unfortunate. We keep saying that, but what can you do? You gotta admire the heart in them. And after giving up 539 yards last week, this defense really showed out tonight. They basically just let up 2 big plays. But I think that's all we have tonight from Bud Hertzog Stadium. Once again, your final score, the visiting Park Hill Trojans 30, the home Lee Summit Tigers 22. Park Hill improves to 4-1. The Tigers will fall to 1-4, making this their 4th straight loss. Signing out for the entire TBTV8 Sports crew, I'm Blake Heisey. Alongside me, providing color commentary, Austin Boyer. Our producer, Elena Twinner. Sideline reporter, Lauren Holdmeyer. Camera workers, Micaiah Clayton and Nick Bellamy. And our advisory, Lane McDonald. Good night from Bud Hertzog Stadium. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week.